What is up, everybody? Back with another video here, and it's going to be my 10 favorite metal bands, starting with the letter B. About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, whatever it is now, I did my top 10 metal bands starting with A. Going to continue this on just here and there as I feel like it, but B, a lot of good bands, got a bunch of honorable mentions, and just as usual, my opinion here, my 10 favorites. So starting at number 10, I'm going to go with Bullet. Pretty cool, somewhat more recent band. They formed in 2001, so not super new at this point, but they put out 6 albums, a bunch of cool stuff, pretty much. If you don't know them, they're from Sweden, and they sound like a blend of AC/DC, Accept, and Judas Priest. Just great classic sound, raspy vocals similar to Udo Dirkschneider, good classic metal riffs like Judas Priest, and some AC/DC hard rock tints in there as well. If you're going to check out anything from them, I'd probably say Storm of Blades from 2014. That title track is just ripping. There's a cool music video for it as well you can check out on YouTube, so check them out if you don't know them. Number 9, I'm going to go with Barbados. Pretty cool Japanese band formed in 1996. It's the side project of Yasuyuki Suzuki, the main man of Abigail, another kind of black thrash band from Japan fronted by this guy, but there's some more punk elements in Barbados, still a classic sounding early black thrash, pretty much is like the main sound of the band, some punk elements in there. Very cool stuff, just dirty, raw, aggressive stuff. I'd probably say Metal Hangover and Gray Violator, a couple of favorite tracks, but there's 5 albums from them, a ton of live albums, demos, EPs and stuff you can go through and check out too, but 5 full lengths, all of them are pretty cool. Number 8, I'm going to go with Black Beast, a really cool Finnish black metal band. I had their album from last year, Arctic Darkness, pretty high up on my list. It was high on my top 10 black metal albums of the year. Really dig it. Just raw, aggressive, dirty, evil-sounding black metal. There's only 2 full lengths from them, but both of them are absolutely killer, so it gets them up to number 8 for me. Number 7, I'm going to go with Benediction, a band with a bit bigger of a discography. They've got 8 albums, classic death metal. They're from England. They've got some really cool stuff. Looking at this, you know, we'll probably go with Transcend the Rubicon is my favorite. A lot of great songs on there. Night Fear, I Bow to None. Fantastic, big, heavy riffs, freaking aggressive, very heavy, just the classic death metal stuff. A lot of it's really cool, but Benediction, one of the bigger names, one of the better bands. Killing Music, a pretty cool modern album from them as well, from 2008. Transcend the Rubicon's from 1993. But, yeah, cool band. Number 7. Number 6, I'm going to go with Burzum. Of course, Varg, you know, people talk shit on him and all this and that, you know, whatever. But, you know, he makes good music. That's all that matters for me. And a lot of cool black metal with him. Very raw, kind of atmospheric, cool stuff there from the early days. Started up in the early 90s. Cool albums. Then he went to jail, as all y'all know. And then he's been out for a while, put out some more stuff. But really, I'm mainly just into the going to jail stuff, or I think he went to jail actually while a couple of these came out, like Philosophum from 96. I believe he was already in jail, but that's one of the best albums. Fis Licet Tar Os from 94. Those are my 2 favorites, but a couple before it are really good as well. Burzum, number 6. Number 5, I'm going to go with Bethlehem, a great band from Germany. They got 9 albums. Very great mix of doom metal and black metal. Sounds very creepy, very dark, just bleak and evil and creepy stuff here. I really like the last 2 albums they've done with Onalar on vocals. The girl from Dark and Nocturne Slaughter Cult, she has a very creepy voice, sounds like a banshee, just very haunting. Goes very well with this kind of doomy, sludgy black metal, which they do extremely well. The self-titled album from came out in 2016. The opening track on that, you know, it starts with the bass, and the drums kick in, or the drums go and then the bass, and then there's just like a blood-curdling scream from Onalar. You're like, oh shit, and the guitar kicks in. Just very cool stuff there. But they got a lot of good albums, 9 of them, but I think that one is probably my favorite, the 2016 self-titled. Number 4, I'm going to go with Bolt Thrower. Great, another classic death metal band from England, just like Benediction. But I like Bolt Thrower a bit better. For Victory, Mercenary, those Once Loyal. Can't really go wrong with any of their stuff. Very consistent band, big heavy riffs again. Kind of a mid-paced feel and rhythm to a lot of their stuff. Just chugging, amazing, big riffs, but they're great. So they're my number 4. Number 3, I got Bathory. Originally, I was going to put them at number 2, but I was like, you know what? I listened to this other band. I have it number 2 a lot more, so got to be honest here. I got Bathory number 3. Great stuff. You know, it's debatable if they're the first true black metal band or not, between, you know, Venom and Bathory, Celtic Frost in there as well. But Bathory, definitely my favorite of those three. Corthon, a legend, RIP to him. That first self-titled album from 1984 is absolutely legendary. Reaper, amazing. Maybe my favorite song by them, but Sacrifice is great as well. A lot of cool stuff there. All the stuff from the 80s is really good. Great black metal. And then Blood, Fire, Death, of course, some of the Viking metal elements started to creep in, but still some very fast, aggressive, shredding black metal on that too. Then you got Hammerheart in 1990, which is what kind of, you know, started up Viking metal. So you got Corthon being a big influence and part of two genres basically being born with black metal and Viking metal. So very cool, great, classic, influential figure in metal, and great band Bathory is. A lot of different elements to their sound, which is really cool. Number 2, Belphegor. I got to put them here. Love these guys. They're from Austria. Super heavy, aggressive, brutal, evil stuff. The earlier material kind of leans a little bit more towards black metal, and then, you know, into the mid-2000s, early 2000s, kind of more of like a blackened death metal, but still just dark. There's a lot of tremolo picking and stuff, very heavy riffs, just insane blast beats. And I still say to this day that they're probably the heaviest band I've ever seen live. It was back a couple years ago with Dark Funeral and a band called Hate, and maybe one other band. But looking at Belphegor's albums, The Last Supper, the debut, is really cool. Blood Sabbath, however it's pronounced, very good as well. Necrodaemon, Terror Satan, Lucifer Incestus, all these albums are really good. And the song from Lucifer Incestus, I wrote down, probably my favorite. It's called Diaboli Virtus in Lumbar Est, or East. Just amazing. Love the guitar riff there. Sounds very black metal, and that one's from 2003. So still a lot of black metal elements in their music. And they had an album come out last year, The Devils, which was cool as well. So they're still kicking. Still putting out solid material in the modern times here. And number 1, this one, you know, it's the obvious pick, but they got to be there. They're a great band. Black Sabbath, you know, the godfathers of metal, the 70s stuff with Ozzy, really good. But I'm more of a Dio guy. I love all 3 of the albums with Dio. I love the Tony Martin stuff, even Glenn Hughes and Ian Gillan albums. I like them. So I like all the albums for the most part. Of course, Forbidden is not that great, and there's some weaker stuff here and there, but Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, 2 of my favorites. Love Tear, Headless Cross, a lot of the stuff. So a lot of great material. Tony Iommi, the riff god, freaking amazing guitar tone, riff master, a lot of great guitar solos with him as well. They've had a lot of great musicians in the band over the years. Great vocalists, as I mentioned, all of them a minute ago. But yeah, Black Sabbath, what can I say? They're an amazing band, classic stuff. They are my number 1, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people's number 1 for the 10 best metal bands that start with the letter B. Now, before I go here, I got some honorable mentions. Bow Wow, which is another Japanese band. They changed their name a couple of times. They're kind of on the edge of hard rock, but I thought I'd give them an honorable mention. Some really cool guitar playing in that band. Kind of remind me of, you know, some 70s Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, more along those lines, but thought I'd give them a mention. There are some glam metal bands that I like a lot, starting with B. Got Bang Tango, Brittany Fox, Bullet Boys. You know, they've each got like a couple of good albums. Probably not enough to get into the top 10, but they are putting out some solid stuff back in the day that I dig quite a bit. Blizzard, a really cool, underrated Japanese band, which their bass player actually went on to be in this Japanese supergroup with 2 guys from Loudness and a guy from Earthshaker called Sly. So that's kind of an interesting little fact there. Bat, which is the side band of the Municipal Waste guys, Ryan Waste and their guitar player as well. I saw them in LA last year, good show. Cool band. Bloodbound, a cool kind of European power metal band. Black and Blue and Babylon AD, a couple other glam metal bands that I like some of their stuff. Bewitcher, another modern band that I actually saw in LA as well. Just kind of a classic black thrash, black speed mixed with them, kind of like early Venom. But I've seen them 3 times, always good live. Yeah, that's about all I got for B. And as usual, I like to know what y'all thought about my list, and I like to know your lists in the comments. Give me your 10 favorite metal bands that start with the letter B. And until next time, thank y'all for watching.